Hello,
All right.
everybody. Welcome back to another tier list. This one's a little different.
A little different, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a
Hmm.
lot different. I'm War Master 101.
Zero.
Beth's over in the
Cowboy
corner.
Graham.
Yeah, Beth's over in the corner. Uh,
Losing my religion.
and uh,
Every time I think of that one mashup someone did with it was sorry. It was losing my religion and under the sea
Jesus Christ.
combined. It was the lyrics of losing my religion and just the beat of under the sea.
When I think of that song, I always think of fucking X Play when they reviewed Donkey Konga.
Jesus.
That's a show that has not aged well.
Oh, it has not aged well. A month or so ago, back when Persona 3 Reloaded was super prevalent, I was thinking, oh, hey, X-Play like reviewed Persona, like the first Persona 3 game a long time ago. I wonder how that went. And I went back and watched the review of it, and it's like, oh no. Morgan Webb, what are you saying? Anyway, we're getting off topic already, but hey, that's a Factutainment promise. We get off topic immediately. We're rating how edible Pokemon are. Bulbasaur.
Okay.
Okay, so uh, Bulbasaur, the whole thing is like it's ambiguous whether or not it's an amphibian or a reptile, so it would be somewhere in there. But it's also poison type, so it would require a decent amount of effort to eat
So
it safely.
yeah, my approach to this is Bulbasaur, the bulb on its back sort of looks like a Brussels sprout. Or like an unripe, like early I forget the type of plant. Um or it doesn't quite match the vibes of what's that? It's the Chimichurro. It's
But
the it's there's this vegetable that's sold
Oh,
in the
oh, I
Tomatillo.
supermarket.
have Timmy
Yeah,
Turner.
tomatillo. Yeah,
I have Timmy Turner.
Fuck. Uh,
I will. It is an unbudded flower, though. So
yeah, I am
It
looking.
looks like a cabbage to me. I
Yeah,
mean, you could chop it up into a little
well, you can
salad.
see it. You can see it in the evolutions. It's an unbudded flower.
yeah.
yeah.
So, one you're approaching it from the animal perspective. Uh, there's so and Nick. Now, granted, this was named after the Pokemon one, not the other way around. Look up Bulbasaurus synapsid real fast.
How do you spell that?
Bulbasaurus. So Bulbasaur, and then add a US to the end.
Thus,
And,
This one.
Bulbasaurus Rex.
yep.
Oh,
So this is a real animal that was
yes.
named, granted, after the Pokemon. That's a little synapsid. Uh, that's the tiny picture.
I don't control the
Yeah,
size of the pictures.
And synapsids are
I do not control the rate at which lobsters die. You should
synapsids
open
are
them. You should
also
get
commonly
off.
known as
You should.
proto-mammals
Sorry, what was that,
You
Beth?
should.
or mammal-like reptiles.
You should
Hmm.
click back and get off fandom
Oh, of course, yeah.
because there's a Wikipedia entry.
Oh, there is a Wikipedia entry, of course.
Bulbous reptile. It sure is.
Uh,
Um,
I
anyway, as I was going to say, so from an animal perspective, I don't see why this wouldn't be edible. We do have the poison type to deal with. I think this is more probably have to do with the plant.
Yeah,
Um,
I agree.
I imagine when you cook this, you'd have to like cut off certain parts of the plant and maybe uh, purify the meat a little. I think it should go into like tentative or efforted because it would take some effort to make this
okay.
edible.
I was
so
going to
Oh
say
yeah.
another popular thing. There are plants that we eat that are poisonous until you cook them. So maybe it would
Right.
take like a special kind of cooking.
So I will. So I kind of have a weird view on it. I think the bulb on his back is the edible part, but then the rest of Bulbasaur is
It's just
inedible.
meat. It's
It's,
just
I,
meat.
I mean, I can see it.
but
I
yeah,
mean, if you're doing the argument of like, oh, it's a poison frog, it maybe.
I
Uh,
I'm leaning more
But it's
towards efforted.
yeah. Also, I will say, for you can put it down.
Okay.
For lines like Bulbasaur, where the line is more or less consistent throughout, I don't think we need to go through every single Pokemon unless there's something distinct about it. So we can, like, if you look at Bulbasaur, Ivysaur, Venusaur, they'd all kind of fall into the same thing.
so I think, and we also want to talk like possible ways to cook it. I think as it gets larger into like Venusaur and especially Mega Venusaur, I think it becomes more edible.
I
Uh,
agree.
and I think this is going to sound really weird. I'm drawing inspiration from like rhubarb and
Right.
how you would cook it. And so
Right.
if you stewed it or like baked it in like a pie, like I think you could make a pretty good Venusaur dish. So I
Okay,
put
so
I,
I,
this in
maybe
like
I
tentative or all right.
yeah,
I would
you could put
say
like
cook it
Ivy.
over. Or, go ahead.
We put like Ivysaur and Venusaur in tentative or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, I would cook it like a salad and then cook up the meat and deep fry it and make it like a Venusaur salad.
I
Or
just
a
take a.
soup, or like a stew.
It.
Yeah, I don't know if I trust the plant parts to be edible raw.
I.
Uh,
Its leaves are definitely giving like cilantro vibes, so I think yeah, like a
Yeah,
soup
I feel like you'd have to at least ditch the flower part, but there's enough
Oh
leaf
yeah,
there.
I'd use the flour as a garnish.
gornache.
I think you could eat the leaves if you like baked them,
Okay.
Hmm?
And
like
then
with rhubarb.
we're gonna ignore these guys for right now. Charmander. How do we feel about
Oh,
Charmander?
definitely.
All right, so
Okay,
I
so
would. Go ahead.
it is just a lizard. However, it being fire type, I feel like would make it more difficult to cook.
Oh no,
It wouldn't be. It would just have to cook longer.
True, but not
I
impossible, because
Right.
fire is not immune to fire
hmm
for some reason.
roast it on a
Yeah.
stick. Stick a Charmander on a stick and roast him just like a pig.
I was
Interesting.
But
thinking grill it, but yeah.
yeah, these would probably go in all right.
So Cowboys going with the iguana on a stick approach.
Uh,
hmm
I know it's supposed to be like a what's the word, like a salamander or something, but I kind of get crocodile vibes. I would fry.
I mean, they're lizard
Yeah.
dragons.
At the end
Whatever.
of
Yeah.
at the end of the day, I would fry the Charmander line. So like this, right?
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
with the Charizard, I would deep fry the wings and then like make bat wings.
I don't know. The wings seem
Okay.
very thin in order to fry
Leathery.
'em.
Yeah.
So you might want to
That
do
would
a
be more
different
like a
one.
pig's ear.
Give it to a
I mean, I
dog.
guess fried pork skin is a thing.
hmm
Okay, Squirtle. I feel like Squirtle would be pretty easy to cook, and I think it would be
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
delicious.
Yeah.
From what
For
I
all of them.
gathered, when it
Yeah. For
comes to
all of them,
cooking,
delicious because it's just turtles.
when it comes to cooking turtles, you usually want to boil it or like stew it or sous vide it because you're dealing with just by the nature of a turtle a lot of bones.
Mm-hmm.
Although I have seen it like you stew it, but you stew it in oil instead of water.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Ooh.
like you render the fat on it because turtles actually have a decent amount of fat on them.
You kill it first, though, right?
Yeah.
Of course.
No.
Oh.
No, you boil it alive. We're
Boil
doing
it.
this as inhumanely as possible.
Oh.
These are all sapient beings, by the way.
Oh Jesus Christ.
So yeah,
Okay.
when it comes to doing any of this, I recommend like even when I'm dealing with like crabs and lobsters, I kill them before I cook them. The only exception to this is clams because you're not supposed to kill them before you cook them
I like to hear
with
this.
clams because they
Clams
can go
have
bad.
committed too much sin on this earth.
Well, they can go bad if you kill them before you cook them real fast.
I like to hear the screaming of the lobsters, so they go in alive.
Jesus Christ!
What was that? Sorry, huh? I lost my train of thought. I'm kidding. I
It
don't
was
actually
delicious.
do that. I do not torture animals.
He does actually do that. I saw him do it. Somebody call the police.
Shut the fuck up. But where are we putting the
So
Squirtle line?
delicious.
Delicious? Okay.
All of them.
All of them? Gotcha. Okay, so this is gonna be a little weird. I
Yep.
would say that Caterpie and Metapod are edible. I would say for Metapod it would be like a what's the word? Like
Peanut.
I was no, not peanut. I was thinking like
Peanuts.
no, like they make like soup out of silkworms, right? Like the cocoons and stuff.
I don't think. I'll look that up real
Yeah.
fast.
Yeah, I know
Do
there are like cultures that eat like mealworms and stuff, but this is a caterpillar. It's not the type of thing you eat.
I,
They don't make soup from silkworm cocoons, from what I can see.
oh,
But they do eat silkworms.
I might be thinking of something else. I might be thinking of there's like a bird, like bird spit soup or
Bird
something.
nest.
Yeah, bird nest. Okay, so basically, what I was going to say is, like Beth mentioned, as for Caterpie in particular, there are many ways to cook and eat grubs. A lot of time, it's usually just like roasted over fire. A lot of times, you just bake them
Fried.
or you toast them,
Mm-hmm.
even a little bit.
But
So
this
these
is
are
not-
definitely all right. Like, there's many ways
this,
to. Plus,
but
it's
like
not
there
poison.
are distinctly maggot Pokemon like Grubbin that would be more suited to that. This is a caterpillar. That is an entirely different thing.
Yeah, because a lot of caterpillars are actually poisonous, right? And
Yes.
Some are.
I'm also looking. I also have Bulbapedia open, and I'm kind of going through the different like Pokemon as well. And I'm seeing that Caterpie is obviously is based off a caterpillar, but perhaps the Asian swallowtail, the Eastern tigered swallowtail, or spice brush swallowtail. And I'm pretty sure swallowtail butterflies are poisonous in some way, shape, or form. So that kind of carries over from.
Yeah, both swallowtail, caterpillar, and adults are poisonous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think this would either go in inedible or aphrodid.
I say
Inedible.
aphrodid.
Efforted? Okay.
Yeah.
Same with.
I mean, Metapod would just sort of be full of goo.
Yeah, I think Metapod's probably the least edible of the three.
So inedible?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I want to say for Butterfree, I want to say hospital.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say hospital, but I would say inedible.
Because you gotta think, it's not poisonous.
Oh, is
I mean,
it not?
it has a lot of dust, but it's not the sort of thing you would eat.
I mean, people eat moths.
Yeah.
Ew.
I think aphrodid would probably be it.
Yeah, aphrodid.
Okay.
So now we're dealing with the actual poison types. So
Hospital.
again, if you cooked them, you may be able to denature the venom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is closer to the type of thing you would eat, but
So here's the
I'd
thing.
probably say aphrodid to inedible.
Well, I was going to say, here's the thing. People do eat bees, not typically specifically honeybees,
Yeah,
but like other bees. And
and
basically,
bee larva.
and same thing with wasps. If you remove their stinger and then you cook them, it basically removes all the venom.
Maybe put Weedle and Beedrill in tentative,
Yeah.
And then
and then Kakuna probably inedible.
yeah, it's another
Aphrodid.
cocoon. Inedible or
I don't know,
Efforted?
Steg, what do you think? What do you think, Steg?
Aphrodid, these are cocoons. And the inside of a cocoon is just goo. And I can't imagine that tastes good. Because
Well,
a lot
Yeah,
of
maybe
animals don't even go after cocoons. So I don't.
Okay. Well, there you go.
I would say we would put it in edible because that was the same thought process for Metapod of like
Okay,
it's
fair
just a
enough.
container full of goo. Pidgey.
All right, birds.
Cornish
yeah.
game hen. It's a Cornish game hen to me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
there's-
it is that, and then like it becomes more and more like a
oh
falcon.
boy, what's going on? There was just a bunch of stuff going from your microphone. Honestly, all three of these, like, I guess you could put Pidgey in Delicious. Pidgeotto maybe in Delicious. I think all three could be Delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are
Yeah.
just birds.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is there anything about like falcons or something that would make them difficult to cook or eat?
Well,
Apparently, the higher you go up on the food chain, typically the less tasty things inherently are. They tend to be more gamey and stringy, but if you can fix that by like slow cooking.
Would you then put the larger birds in all right and the smaller birds in delicious?
Oh well, we say that, but there's also larger birds like turkeys and emus, which taste good.
Okay, well, I
So,
mean in this case that when these with these raptors.
yeah, I'd say put them in all right,
Yeah,
like Pidgeot.
Pidgeot and Pidgeotto.
Sure,
yeah.
Okay,
Right,
Rattata.
Rattata. People eat rats. I
Meatball.
haven't had rat, but I've had guinea pig. It's all right.
Beth, did you just
Yeah.
say something about meatballs?
Yeah, they're mammals.
Ah.
It's like there's not much to dislike.
With Rattata, I'm just imagining like that one picture of somebody who put their hamster in a spoon, and then like there's a follow-up reaction image of like them eating it out of the spoon, and it's like, no!
I mean, you also have to remember that you have to take the size into account.
Oh yeah, it's a big fucking
Because they're
rat.
like it's a foot. It's a foot long or a foot tall or something. So it would probably go in all right.
Okay.
Both of them.
Both of them? Oh yeah, of course. Okay.
Well, you missed the other form. You missed the other forms. Okay.
Well,
So specifically, what do you think? How do you think Alolan Raticate's increased fat would affect it?
I think you would get a higher yield of meat if you like rendered it.
Right. So do you think that would stay where it is or go up?
I think all the rats can stay in all right.
Right.
Okay, so Spearow, here's something. I think Spearow goes in all right. I think Fearow goes in delicious because from what I read and understand, Fearow, although it isn't an aquatic bird, it very much looks like a water bird. And water birds are typically much more tasty than a lot of land birds.
I agree.
And herons specifically are considered a delicacy in many places of the world.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because instead of taking on you in many ways you kind of are what you eat, and herons eat a lot of fish.
Well, I'm just going off of Bulbapedia. They do say it's reminiscent of certain water birds, but also that it's more closer to like vultures and condors, and I think it would be closer ecologically to like a vulture or condor given where you find it. Like you typically find them in like plains where they're picking on weaker stuff. So
I just fry it up no matter what. So
yeah, they put Spearow and Fearow in all right.
all right. Snake and Cobra. I mean, Ekans and Arbok.
So these are poisonous.
you can
However,
cook snakes, right?
yes, you can cook and eat snakes.
Right here. I've had them. They're good. Depending
They
on what
say
type
you need to remove their venom and then render them.
Yeah,
But yeah, you can eat them.
Yeah, I know. Like, I know. So, Ekans is based. It looks like is based off of like the rattlesnake, and I
Rattlesnake.
definitely know people eat rattlesnake. Do people eat cobras?
Yes.
Probably.
It is.
So this would
nice
probably
and
go
tender.
in tentative to Everted.
Okay. Yeah, I'll put it in tentative for right now, and then we can move it around. Oh god, Pikachu.
I'd say delicious because it is a mouse.
I'd say it's alright because it is just a mouse. However, it's like very electrical, which would require a bit more effort to clean out because you'd have to remove the electrical sacs.
Yeah, but the electrical sacs are like primed
People
to
do eat
their.
electric eel.
They're primed to its face, right? Like you just need to cut those like red
Yeah.
spots out, and then it's all
You
good.
just need to cut that off.
Oh yeah. So what was the idea? Pikachu and all right.
Probably alright.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
okay with all right. Same with Raichu.
And with Raichu. Okay, yes. Put Alolan Raichu in Delicious. Look at how plump it is.
Oh yeah, no. This I would say has the consistency of like a donut.
Oh yeah, I agree on that one. Or pancakes.
Pancakes. Okay. Sandshrew. Sandshrew is supposed to be an armadillo, right?
Yes, and
Like it's an armadillo. It's an armadillo or a pangolin, whatever it's called.
and pangolins are considered a delicacy. And I don't encourage you to eat pangolins because they're endangered. But
They
as
also
far
have
as
like
armadillos
Eat this
go,
one. I do imagine it would have the same consistency as like pangolin, but it would also be somewhat gritty given its normal habitat.
mhm.
well, I mean, like we can just take armadillos straight for because most armadillos are burrowers as well. You can eat armadillo. It's described as pretty succulent. You do have to cook it at high temperatures.
To get rid of all the
To kill the leprosy.
The leprosy.
Yeah.
So how you do that is best is either you bake it at high temperatures for a long time, or you fry it.
Okay, so the Sandshrews would be
Effort.
efforted.
Yeah.
no
Oh no.
higher than that.
Uh,
Like I'm just imagining it'd be like the consistency of like catfish, I imagine, but it would taste better.
I like
It would have that sort of gritty texture, but it would taste better than catfish.
I like catfish.
I think it would
was
still go in
called-
Delicious.
It's been compared by people who eat it to rabbit or turtle.
That's kind of tasty.
So you need to move the Rattata and Raticate around if you're going to arrange them. You got to arrange them by number.
I like this.
Just move it over to the left. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I know that Sandshrew is edible. Sandslash, on the other hand,
It's more or less the same.
Yeah.
I feel like Sandslash would go in Delicious with the other one. I feel like Alolan Sandslash would be harder to work with because, like, Alolan Sandshrew is, like, soft and plump. Alolan Sandslash is sharper and it still has a lot of metal bones in it. It would go in all right because it would probably take more effort to cook.
okay, I can see that.
I just want to point this out. Have we ever considered also like how hard it would be to catch these creatures as well?
We're not doing that.
Yeah, we're not consider.
We're going to be eating Mewtwo, so
Yeah,
we're not
yeah.
dealing with it.
Okay.
Mewtwo would just taste like tofu,
Jesus Christ. Okay,
like lab-grown meat.
Alright.
Nidoran, female.
So here's the thing with the Nidoran
so-
lines. On one hand, they're based off of rabbits, which are delicious. On the other hand, they are poisonous.
Extremely
Yeah,
poisonous.
these would go into tentative They are sort of like rabbit rhinos. These would probably go in tentative because they'd take effort to make all that.
So just the whole line.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I would
Unless you
say
feel like Nido Queen and Nido King would be different somehow.
I mean, I insert sex pun here. But yeah, no, I get what you mean. It would be tentative. I feel like it would be like they're based off rabbits, but I feel like they would be hard to eat.
Okay, Stag, how do you feel about this? Male Nidoran, Nidorino, and Nido King and like efforted because they'd be like tougher, and then like Nido Queen also in efforted.
That's fair.
Because they are the pointier ones, and they the higher up the
Like that.
yeah.
I think male Nidoran could probably go tentative.
All right.
Yeah, because they're both like still soft.
Yeah.
But
Maybe move Nidorina down.
No, Nidorina's like softer and less pointy.
Oh, I don't know if they were about as like it's supposed to be as like thick skin as their male counterpart.
Yeah, leave that where it is. I've seen enough Rule 34 to know how soft Nidorina is.
If Rule 34 doesn't count, then Nido King goes all the way up to S. Like,
Jesus Christ.
Okay, slur.
Whoa, hey there.
you're telling me that if we're that the MILF doesn't go in delicious.
Let's see. Nidoran male. This always bugs me. Nidoran male goes after the female line in putting it in order.
Like that.
Yeah.
No, Nidoran.
Oh.
Move to the right.
Wait, what? Like this? Or...
All the way to no. We're having the thing again. It's like this when we play Magic. It's like you need to do this. Oh, this after you've already moved your cursor to do something else.
Look, the point is, it's good now.
Yes.
Okay. Now we're on to the moon.
I was quickly looking up like different poisonous mammals and how they cook them, but basically all the poisonous mammals are endangered, so there's no information on how to cook them.
Hours, I see.
Okay, so Cleffa and Clefairy.
Clefairy and
Clefairy.
Clefairy.
These are sorry, Cleffa. Yeah, Cleffa's not till Gen 2. These are from space and are alien. They
are also very soft and made of meat. So I feel like it would go all right to delicious.
This is gonna be weird to say, but okay, Cowboy, what is going on with your phone? With your Discord? There's like a.
His is always it always does that.
Oh, okay. Alright. I personally I feel like if you bite into Clefable, it would feel like biting into like a vinyl, like soft vinyl, if that makes sense. But I'll still put it in alright or delicious because it would be like delicious. It would be like cotton candy or something.
They are like I imagine they would have sweet meat and very little bones.
Okay, so alright or delicious for both of them.
What do you think?
I'm thinking all right.
Yeah.
Because you got to think of like, so this is going to sound fucking absurd. When you're cooking certain animals, you have to be careful because, like, just because of their anatomy, different things can happen. Like a lot of times, like shellfish, they can steam and like pop and stuff, or like, especially with like animals that you have a lot of like muscle twitch fibers, they'll start moving as you're cooking them, like even if they're dead. And my thought is, what if that happens and like while you're cooking?
You have to remove the organs that allow for like the Omni sac or whatever.
Yeah. You have to take care to remove the fuck you
the element organs.
Oh wait, hang Clefairy and Clefable give me soup dumpling vibes. You like start you start pan frying it, but then like there's a hole and like the juices start leaking out, and like the oil doesn't like the juices leaking out, and it starts popping like crazy, and then you like
Only metronome starts going off and just like suddenly sacred fire explodes out your window.
Okay,
Okay, so these are just foxes.
yeah, they are foxes. People eat foxes, right?
Yes.
Stag, do you think there would be any difference between the fire and ice variants?
If we're going off of regular fox, because the I almost said Hisuian, the Alolan versions are heavily based off the Arctic fox.
Mm-hmm.
Pardon me, guys. I'm gonna get off. I gotta get some food.
Okay,
So,
Right.
thank you, guys.
no problem. That's
So
good.
Arctic foxes are typically shorter but fatter because just of how they store meat. So maybe the Arctic variants would be a little bit better.
Okay.
You want to put both of these in delicious?
Yeah. I would like to think that the meat for Vulpix is like spicy, and then the Alolan Vulpix is like Cool Ranch.
It's
Okay.
disgusting.
Same with
Do we
Ninetales.
want to do this? What do you think?
Do we want to what?
Put Ninetales and Alolan Ninetales and Delicious as well.
I think all right for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not as meaty as the Vulpix and the two Vulpixes, so that makes sense. Okay, I take it back. These are the soup dumplings.
I mean, I feel like these would go in efforted because a lot of they have the anatomy to inflate. I imagine there's not a lot of meat in there.
True. True.
Like, this doesn't seem like it would be even worth the effort, but it would still be edible if you tried.
I was gonna make a cursed reference.
Please do.
So they inflate, and as far as other vertebrates that inflate, pufferfish do. Look up a pufferfish's skeleton real fast.
Oh God. Oh, on okay.
And this will also give us like when we eventually get around, just like how we're gonna fish. But just look up the pufferfish's anatomy; it's insane.
Skeleton.
Oh.
Skeleton.
Okay. Sorry. Chris said anatomy, and it fucked me.
No, he said skeleton.
Hey, Chris, I don't want to look at this anymore.
Pretty sure I 3D printed something like this once.
What if this is what Jigglypuff and
I mean, probably.
That's terrifying. I don't want to look at that anymore.
Yeah, I'd put that in efforted to inedible.
Yeah. Yeah, I want
Let's
to.
do efforted because they may not be that like bones.
Also,
may not be that meaty,
but also pufferfish are, like do have meat and can be eaten at the end of the day. So
yeah.
efforted, I think, is the best choice.
Okay.
Zubat,
The bats.
Zubat and Golbat.
They are poisonous.
They are poisonous.
They
sorry, you go
they
first.
are just bats, but they would require like getting rid of the venom.
Yeah. Also,
you can eat bats. People do eat bats. Typically barbecued.
Don't bats have like correct me if I'm wrong, I might be spouting like anti-bat propaganda, but don't bats have like high like cases of rabies in them?
Yes.
Okay.
So do foxes.
True.
Yeah.
I'd put these at like tentative.
That's fair. Okay. Oddish is a radish.
Okay. Well,
also poisonous. But
this
I
would probably go in all
like,
right.
In the same vein as like green tomatoes and 1 second.
Yeah. I feel like Oddish would go in all right. The other two would go into efforted to maybe our first hospital.
Oh wait, hey, Chris like fully like Hang on, I'm gonna pause the recording.
Um,
Never mind.
Sorry, someone's talking to me.
It's all good.
Uh,
Okay. So
so Oddish is the most edible of these all of
yeah,
all of these.
Beth said all right, possibly for Oddish, and then uh,
I think delicious.
you think delicious?
Yeah, this
I
would be
think
the easiest to salad Pokemon.
well, I think this is one of those. It's a vegetable, and you have to cook it first before you eat it.
Mm-hmm.
But then once you cook it, it's denatured and you're fine to eat it.
I think if you just eat it normally, you get high as fuck.
I think it's like one of those things where like you're not supposed to eat raw potatoes.
Oh, you're not supposed to?
Yeah, you're not supposed to eat raw potatoes. You're
Oh
supposed to cook them
shit!
first.
Potatoes.
You've just been eating raw potatoes.
Don't worry about it. Well, to be fair, I've also been told by other people, like, if you peel a potato, and it, like, has a green tinge under, like, the skin, do not eat it. But then it's like, well, I mean, it's fine. Like, the rest of the potato is fine, so I'll peel it and, like, we'll make mashed potatoes.
Consuming raw potatoes can lead to many digestive issues and discomfort, including killing your intestinal gut biome.
That's why I have IBS. I eat too many raw potatoes. Okay. What did we say for glue?
Do we think Gloom or Vileplume is worse to eat?
Well,
I'd say Vileplume because it's the
yeah,
Okay,
however you pronounce
so
it.
then Gloom goes in tentative and Vileplume in efforted.
well,
If
I
you guys
mean,
know
is
that.
a ref is the you would know how to pronounce the goddamn plant.
the corpse flower. No, that's different. Uh,
What?
th- uh,
Okay. Okay.
Rafflesia?
Answer question. Yeah.
yeah, that's it.
I'll just Google that real fast. Is Rafflesia
Okay, it
edible?
does say the buds and blooms are considered a delicacy.
Oh, okay, apparently you can't eat them, yeah.
You can or can't.
You can eat them. They just smell
Yeah, so
horrible.
I'd agree with this then.
So efforted.
I'd say
That's
put it
fine.
in tentative as well.
Okay.
Hmm.
Uh, okay. So, how we feel about the cordyceps virus? The cordyceps fungus.
I mean, they are cordyceps, but they're not like the same kind of parasitic mushroom that would actually affect cicadas. These are like more edible mushrooms that they're putting on these Pokemon, and they are on like cicadas that are probably edible. So these would go into all right to delicious
Yeah.
instead.
That, if you're willing to risk it. And personally, I'm not.
Well, also
Let me check.
we got
I'm pretty sure one of the things about Paris and Parasect is that their mushrooms are delicious or something.
yeah because is it
Fair
like
enough.
I know in like I think in like Sword and
Or they're
Shield and stuff.
delicious. Because you're the next line in their parasite host chain.
I'm pretty sure in Sword and Shield and Scarlet and Violet, like Parasect, like Paris and Parasect mushrooms can be put in food, like the sandwiches and stuff. I'm
Yeah,
not
there are things called tiny. There are items called tiny mushrooms, but those may or may not be related.
maybe.
Uh, Most mode. They are medicinal at least.
Alright, then I would say alright.
Okay.
I don't want to put them in delicious.
Yeah.
No, I get your apprehension a little bit. Like, do you know there's a fucking coffee company that's like, yeah, our coffee is all natural. It's made with a lot of mushrooms, including cordyceps. And I'm like, I'm fucking sorry. Are you talking about the fungus that brainwashes bugs? The fungus that there's a whole fucking game series about? That cordyceps? Do we want to put Parasect in all right as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Venonat and Venomoth.
I think,
These they would go in tentative to efforted.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm fine with doing tentative. What the fuck is Diglett?
It's a mole.
Oh, is it a mole?
So
Yeah.
regular.
Okay. Diglett, and Dugtrio are based off whack-a-moles, but they are just moles.
Oh, that's
So
fun.
regular Diglett and Doug Trio, I think, are either tentative or the next one up.
I think these would go. I think the regular forms would go in all right because they are just moles.
Yeah.
I think Alolan would go in efforted to tentative because that is like trying to eat fiberglass.
They are, yeah. They're going in
It's like
efforted
Yeah.
just because their hair is supposed to be volcanic glass. That is going to be shards. That's going to be,
yeah.
you need to clean the shit out of it. And that's reminding me of, and this is going to sound weird, I've eaten prickly pear before. Prickly pear, is like, their fruits are delicious. You have to get every single needle off of it. If you miss one, you're having a bad time. Like,
Damn.
All
yeah.
right, cats, delicious,
Meow, meow, meow,
delicious.
meow. Oh, delicious? Okay, of course, yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's a cat. People eat cats.
Yeah. I have been known to eat puss.
Okay,
Is Berserker a steel
so
type?
this one,
Oh, okay.
that Meowth would probably have to go in efforted because it's steel type due to like really matted hair. That would take a lot of effort to clean.
But then Persian and Alola Persian delicious
Okay,
as well.
so
They probably,
I was gonna say all
yeah.
right.
How do you feel about,
Uh,
yeah? Put them in all right because they are like panthers
yeah.
basically.
Well, I was gonna say, like, I've had mountain lion before,
You
and
have?
yeah, mountain lion's all right. It's kind of a little bit like necessarily tougher, but like bit gamier, and it's you have to cook it fairly high temperature because, like bears, they can have trichinosis, but they're not guaranteed to have trichinosis like most bears are.
But
Uh,
trichinosis is what makes it tasty. No,
sure,
no.
Nick.
Yeah, so we
Okay,
have
Psyduck.
Psyduck, which are like
These
Arduck.
are not.
platypus kappas.
Yeah,
Oh,
I could
I
not find
feel
any
like
information on how to eat a platypus. Uh,
given Psyduck is not venomous, I feel like it would go in delicious. It would be like closer to a duck, and then Golduck would be like all right because it's like bigger and probably stringier.
true.
all right. Okay, Mankey. So after searching, and I did find it, there are various recipes I found on eat monkeys.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
So basically, how they recommend eating monkey meat is to you basically necessarily stew it, but you saute it and then you shred it, and typically it's served with various chilies, peppers, and spices because apparently the meat can have like an off flavor to it,
Mm-hmm.
and so you kind of
right.
want to combat it with like stronger flavors.
Yeah, I feel like given how both thin and incredibly muscular they are, they would go in like all right.
Or you could just
Yeah,
crack their head open and have chilled manky brains.
have you seen primates head? I don't think.
I don't know what to tell you. Uh,
Dog, delicious,
Jesus
easy.
Christ.
Hot dog. Yeah, sure.
But Hisuian, Growlithe, and Arcanine are
These
rock,
are
right?
rocks.
Yeah.
I
I
feel like Growlithe would still go in delicious, and Arcanine would go in all right.
All right, I'm fine with that.
We need to put the Growlithe together.
Oh, yeah.
it feels like you could probably like bake them, or like stew them, and then like remove like. Yeah,
It's
this is
mostly
gonna
because
sound fucking. I feel like it's like a crab, where like if you break off the outer shell, there's inside
like scroll up a little.
too.
Scroll up a little. Yeah, the Growlithe. Okay, you scroll up too much because we're on a delay. So I feel like Growlithe has all the white stuff is like hard, so it's not. Or on Hisuian Growlithe, the white part is hard, so you don't have as much to get around versus Arcanine, which is more rocky than that. It would be harder to work with.
I think you just take
Yeah.
a giant chunk out of their leg and you gnaw on it.
Okay, now we have the
Oh
tadpoles
no.
and the frogs. So here's what I think. Poliwag goes in tentative.
Yeah, basically,
Poly,
the closer you get to an adult frog, the more delicious it is. Maybe.
yeah, Poliwhirl goes in
All
all
right.
right, and Poliwrath goes in excellent
And I feel like
or delicious.
it's gonna punch you to death before you get to eat it,
I
but
mean, we are assuming that these are all dead before we eat them, so
true,
Okay,
true. What
how would Abra taste?
I
uh,
feel like, given how thin and reedy the limbs are, this would go in tentative to efforted.
I feel like you could still Alakazam spoons to like eat some delicious sorbet. What are
That's
they?
not how we're judging this, but okay.
You make an you make an Alakazam ceviche, and you use the spoons to eat the Alakazam ceviche.
Okay, you said efforted, right?
And Steg, what do you think?
Okay,
I say tentative.
Yeah,
I would want
for
to
all three
say
of them.
for all three of them. Okay, I was gonna say for like Abra and Alakazam, I would say efforted, but then for Kadabra right here, it would be tentative because it looks like Kadabra has more meat than these two
Ale.
combined.
That's fair.
Well, yeah, but Abra would most of Abra's meat would be in the tail.
True.
I guess you could put Abra and Alakazam in efforted. Steg, what do you think? Maybe
Uh,
just Alakazam and efforted.
yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like the tail's gonna be, like you guys were saying, the tail's gonna be the main source of meat.
Yeah, I am.
Okay, so Steg, what does human taste like?
So going off of, so I've been told that human tastes like a mixture of monkey and pork.
Right.
So going off of how I've looked up how you cook and eat monkey and how I cook and eat pork, your best bet is to probably treat these sort of like a covered pork roast, and you'd cook it in the oven like you take the thigh and you cook it in the oven and bake it at a decent high temperature, and then you kind of like shred it, or
Fellas,
maybe
I
you
gotta
do
say,
like
this is some of
cuts.
the most fucked up shit.
But yeah, how do we rank the wrestlers?
I
Stag, you would know this. You would know this more than me. The more muscular it is, would that make it tougher or better somehow?
It depends on how you cook it. So basically, uh, with fat, you want to like slow cook it to render it. Uh,
There's not
and
going to
for
be a lot of fat.
muscles, sorry, one second.
for Masussels.
I was looking up muscles to like just double check myself, but the only muscles I can find are the clams, the clam relatives.
I feel like these would at least go at all right. I mean, there is a lot of meat we're working with here.
I don't want to say anything about eating the Machamp line because I that would be weird.
Because
I mean, if we were thinking of other ways to eat them, I would put them in delicious because insert sex pun here. Bellsprout.
so these are based on like pitcher plants and stuff. How edible do you think these would be? Because I feel like most of the edibility would be from the plants and roots, not necessarily the body.
So from looking it up, some people do cook and eat pitcher plants. It's mostly used as medicinal, so it's not
Yeah,
really used for cooking.
feel like they'd at least go in all right.
Yeah,
That's fair. And insert joke about DSLs.
Well, no, my internet's fine.
No dick sucking lips, Beth, because Weepin' Bell. Do you see these?
Or
I don't. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. Is jellyfish
okay,
edible?
okay. So hang on. The thing about uh, Tentacool and Tentacruel is they are a mix of jellyfish and squid. Like, Tentacruel is more of a squid than a jellyfish. You look at Tentacruel compared to Jellicent, the Jellicent line. Jellicent is a true jellyfish. These are closer to squid, but are also jellyfish.
Oh, I can see the what's the word? I can see Tentacool
Because
being.
because Tentacruel is a squid. It has a beak.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, that is the case. Uh, but yeah, Tentacool to me kind of looks like a what's that one squid? Like the vampire
The
squid.
Man of War.
Oh,
Oh, no. Yeah, sure, but I don't think that was discovered. I don't know, when was the vampire squid discovered?
actually, I don't even think I'm thinking of the vampire squid. Hang on.
Because these are based on, like, Man of War jellyfish, but also squid.
True. Okay, no, not the vampire squid. I just know
the
there's like
vampire scroll was found in 1890.
Oh, okay.
uh. Well, if
Yeah, 'cause
these are
it was like brought up in like a fishing, I believe.
if these are if these are supposed like the jellyfish parts are supposed to be based off the Man of War, I want to say that this is our first hospital visit.
Steg, what do you think? Because I think it would at least go in efforted. This seems like, I don't know, how edible are jellyfish to humans?
You can eat some kinds of jellyfish. Some kinds will kill you. Uh,
Okay. Yeah, let's put this in hospital.
yeah, because these are
I feel
poisonous.
like I feel like you might be able to use the tentacles somehow, but that would only be if you can accurately remove the poison.
I know one way to use the tentacles. Anyway,
All right.
Geodude, inedible
Okay, hang
because
on.
it's.
Don't start just moving things.
Oh, okay.
So I imagine they are like silicon-based organisms. There's probably muscle under there somewhere, but it is so stone-based that it wouldn't be worth it. So it would probably go in inedible.
So my thinking is, other than salt, are there any rocks to eat? Uh,
Uh,
are
It's
there
like,
any
if
rocks?
if any of them are edible, it would just be Geodude, because the higher you get up in that line, the more just rock it is.
true.
Okay, so here's something.
Mm-hmm.
So many some types of stone, such as limestone and marble, are composed of calcite, calcium carbonate, which is the main ingredient in items such as Tums.
Also, if I may, the Geodude line is based off of geodes. So what if like the
No,
center?
hold on. No, no, stop. No. No, it's not. It's not. It's
It's.
not. That's just the English name. There's no geode physiology in it whatsoever.
I was just thinking you crack it open in the middle and it like has a gooey center or something.
Okay,
I guess
so
we also eat. Let's see.
something I'm gonna be a hard ass about is the people defining what the Pokemon is based on the English name. So people will be like, "Oh, Beedrill has drills for hands because that's in the English name." No, no, it doesn't. It has stingers for hands. The Japanese name of the thing is Spear. It doesn't have anything to do with drills. Just like Geodude doesn't have anything to do with geodes, it just did it as a pun. The Japanese name is like something to do with rolling rocks.
I thought it was I didn't think it was geode as in geode. I thought it was geo as in geology.
Yeah, it's a pun, it's both, but it doesn't have anything to
Yeah.
actually do with geodes in its design.
And
I feel like both geo go ahead.
I mean, it doesn't change my thought at the end of the day. I don't think any of these like Geo guys are edible.
So here's the
I,
thing: if we think about the Alolan ones, they are magnetized, which means they are magnetic, which means they have a high amount of the minerals that can be magnetized. Which, if I remember correctly,
they're like very
actually, I'll
iron
look this up.
sand.
Which metals are magnetized? So the metals that are magnetic are iron, cobalt, nickel in some quantities, uh, gadolinium, neodymium, dysprosium, samarium, manganese. Uh, so of those, and then there's all the different alloys made of those. So of those materials, several of them are trace elements that are commonly used in multivitamins.
Okay, so I'm
We
thinking
could
the
maybe
Geodudes.
make them into vitamin supplements,
I'm thinking
and
that I'm
maybe
thinking that I'm
uh,
thinking the two Geodude would go into efforted, and then the other ones would go inedible.
well, here's my thinking: is Golem maybe the most edible of them because
Golem is like
Golem.
almost indestructible.
Well, my thinking is there's clearly a creature inside of it, right?
Yeah,
So if you like slow cook it and break down the outer shell, you might have like something edible on the inside.
but you have to understand that with a lot of rock types, they're silicon based. They're a different kind. They have musculature, but it's an entirely different kind of musculature.
Fair enough.
So crunchy.
Yeah,
Yeah, after
like
that for the Geodudes.
Geodude's in efforted, and then the others in inedible.
We make Tums out of the regular Geodude, multivitamins out of the Geodude.
Because, like, if there's any meat in any of these, it would be mostly in Geodude and mostly in its arms.
Horse.
Alright, all the horses go in delicious, they're horses. No contest. I don't know,
They
Stank,
make
how does
good
horse meat
lasagna.
taste?
I've never had horse meat.
No.
I do know it's a very common meat.
I would like to think that you would eat Ponyta and Rapidash normally, like, you know, like making like steaks and stuff. But then for Galarian, Ponyta, and Rapidash, you just eat their hair. It's cotton candy. I'm sorry, is that weird? Is that weird
Do
for
you
me
eat
to...
hair, Rapunzel?
I'm sorry.
Alright.
Is it weird to say that I want to eat their hair? Because we literally just had a conversation on
Yes.
why why Geodude was more edible than its other versions.
Alright. So now we're up to the
Slowpoke,
first
the one
or
they canonically...
yeah, I was gonna say you're the first or arguably second Pokemon on the list that is eaten in universe.
And apparently it is delicious, so...
Yep.
Okay. Do
Slowpoke,
that for
Slowbro.
I say we do that for uh the regular ones, and then
Yep.
is the Alola one is the Galarian one
No.
poisonous?
No, a lowland Slowpoke is like that because it eats seasoning. Or at least eats like spices, so if anything it'd be more delicious.
Oh, I thought it was poisonous.
No, the Slowbro is poisonous.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So, where do we want to put Slow Bros?
So I think Slowbro, you're adding You're adding a giant clam to the dish, so I might as well put it in S tier as well.
Okay, I have a proposition.
Uh-huh.
What?
You put the Slowbro to the right.
What's better, Slowbro? Oh, right here.
Uh,
Move it over to the right. That's the opposite direction I said.
I'm kidding. Okay.
Okay, so I have a proposition. What if we put like an S class that is delicacy?
we'd have to move some things around.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Sure.
Because
Sure.
I feel like, yeah, put like a blue layer above this. So
Oh, fuck. Oh, no,
what?
sorry. There it is.
Yeah, make it like blue or something. Put the first Squirtle and Wartortle in there first.
Yeah, let me...
That's not there. You go.
Squirrel and Little
It's,
Turtle.
what else do you think would go in there, Steg?
Delicacy.
Yes.
Probably Polyrath.
I feel now put Poliwrath back. I think if anything, Politoad would be the one to go there,
Polytoad.
which isn't in this generation yet.
Oh.
Okay.
So
Maybe
and
one
then
of the
put
horses.
and then put. Not really. I don't know. You would have to look that up to convince me. But until then, put the Slowpokes and Slowbro in there.
Well, I thought you said delicacy. I thought we were doing off of like what some communities think is incredibly
Well,
good.
that's what I asked.
That's why I mentioned one of the horses.
I mean, you might as well just put all the horses in there. So you put them for the Slowpokes.
Okay.
No, do I want to throw a little Pikachu, Raichu in there or no?
No.
All right.
Okay, that's good.
Is there anyone from the lower tiers you want to throw up there?
No.
Yeah, I think it would just mainly be from Delicious because, like, yeah.
All right.
Okay.
What about...
This would this would probably go in efforted because it is the same, like efforted to all right, because it is the same stuff except now it is full of venom.
Okay.
Okay, please.
Magnemite and Magneton.
Please. It's
inedible.
It's inedible.
Yeah.
This isn't like me being like crazy or anything, but like if you could look at these and be like, I could eat this somehow, that is metal and screws.
I mean, yes, you can eat a magnet. You shouldn't, but you can. You will gain nothing from it.
The only idea I have for this is you melt them down and turn them into silverware.
Okay, yeah. Another reason why I put in delicacy is because next we have Farfetch'd and Galarian Farfetch'd, which are notable delicacies.
Yeah. Like fully like what's the word? Like the Pokedex is like, yeah, these bitches walk around with a leek. They're really good tasting if you cook them with the leek.
Yeah, that is sort of the whole point. So these are like ostriches and emu.
Okay, so I've had both ostriches and emu. I've had ostriches because ostriches that may have been how it was prepared. Generally, with ostriches, you want to go slower. You want to like fast cook it like you would other birds. So I think Duduo goes in probably delicious, and then Dudrio goes in all right.
That's fair.
Why?
So Duduo gives me more emu vibes, and ostrich is tougher and kind of like less appealing than emu.
They were kind of the same. I think they need to go together, especially considering Dodrio is just more meat.
All right. Well, it is also significantly fast.
I'm mostly having to ask why because you're cutting in and out.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll disconnect to reconnect.
All right.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So when it comes to, I've had both emu and ostrich. Both have very similar lifestyle, except for ostrich are significantly faster and significantly more prone in a lifestyle to. Um, they run faster. They typically live. Uh, they have a slightly different diet. Um, but overall, their build is just in a way that they're tougher. Their meat is tougher than emu is.
Mm-hmm.
You think these would both just go in all right then?
Sure.
Okay, I'm fine with that.
Right.
How are people feeling about seal?
Okay, so seal and dugong, seal meat is considered by many cultures that do eat seal to be delicious. I've never had seal.
Yeah, I guess they'd both go in delicious to all right.
Where do I want to put blubber nuggets?
I'm fine with putting them in delicious.
Blubber nugget.
I don't know. Do you know anything about manatee?
No, because manatees are endangered. You're not allowed to eat them.
Okay, hospital.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is just poison.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, these are either
Delicacies,
delicious or
probably.
delicacy. Yeah, because they're just shellfish.
I would say delicious for both of them because they're both just clams at the end of the day. I know.
Yeah.
Well, should cloister go
Ones that-
delicacy?
I think they should both go in delicacy. If anything, I think Shelder would have more meat on it simply because it has a tongue.
I was implying other things with cloister.
Pussy.
Vagina.
Yeah.
We both know you don't eat. You both don't eat out.
Hey, I would eat
Okay,
out if
so-
if I was asked to.
So here's a question:
Okay.
how do we eat a ghost?
Hospital. Okay. Well, the thing is, these are mostly just poisonous gas for the most part.
Yeah.
So, like, the first two would be hospital, the second one would be an edible, or the third
Make
one
it
would be an
into
edible.
like a gel or something.
No, don't put it in efforted.
Like
Don't put it in efforted.
It's inedible. Okay.
you do molecular gastronomy with
my-
like CO2.
If you
and
have to do
shells and
your
foam.
molecular astronomy.
okay, yeah. Okay. On one hand, I find molecular gastronomy super interesting. I hate how it's been like made into this what's the word? Like into this like bougie like Michelin star. Like you can't like do it unless like you're shilling out $1,000. It's
And
fucked
here's
up.
another thing with molecular gastronomy. A lot of the times when you're doing things, it's kind of impressive that you can do it in the first place. But in changing the fundamental aspect or form of a food to like a different, oftentimes even state of matter, you have to make so many like exceptions and substitutions. You end up with just kind of a bland tasting thing. Because like if you're going to make your balsamic vinaigrette sauce into an orb that delicately rests atop of what was once a steak but has now been dehydrated and then freeze dried and turned to this weird like potato looking smear, but it's steak, and then you put that put on top, the agar is going to ruin the texture of the balsamic vinegar sauce, and shredding, freeze drying, and then rehydrating the steak is going to make it taste just like you're eating cat food. So you're making so many exceptions to begin with, and that's where I think the big fall of molecular gastronomy lies.
And then the chef
It's
comes
like, yes, you can do it, but why?
and then the chef comes out and farts on your food, and it's like it adds flavor.
Okay, Eric Cartman.
You add flavor. Onyx. Inedible.
Yeah, I don't see a way of eating this.
I think onyx.
No, Stan. It's not. There's no nothing in there. There's barely even connective tissue.
Now here's my thing here with onyx is.
Let him cook. Let him cook.
it belongs in the same tier as Geodude.
Oh my god.
No. Okay, no. Put it down. Just put it down.
Okay, it's down.
Stop moving around. Okay, Geodude has notable musculature. Onyx barely has connective tissue. Like it's held together with magnets, but somehow its mouth still works. I don't like the idea that it's held together with magnets. I think that's a stupid idea, but that's just how it is. It is basically just rocks. It is stones. There's nothing there.
Okay, but you can eat some rocks.
No, Stag.
It's not Steelix yet. You can eat it. You have to be very careful with it.
Chris,
Helix and Onyx are the same thing, except one's coated in metal.
Chris, I have to agree with Beth on here. There's no eating at Onyx. At least not in a
Like
fun
when you're
way.
talking about eating rocks through technicality, you're getting into inedible because that depends entirely on whether or not these are the rocks that are edible.
Yeah, like you could have a Onyx made of bismuth, and bismuth's not edible.
Fucking M&M's and Skittles have titanium in them.
God.
Like,
We're getting into semantics.
We're not getting into this granular bullshit.
Anyway, Taper.
Yeah, Taper. I feel like
Okay.
we go into all right to delicious.
I'm a bit weirded out by these guys because don't they? I know they're not poison types, but don't they have like a decent amount in like the Pokedex of them using like hypnotic sleeping gases and stuff like that? And to me, that seems like, I don't know what it's like, the narcotics. It seems like if you eat this, it's a narcotic and will put you to sleep.
Like, it can learn poison gas, but that's about it. They use mind powers to put things to sleep.
Yeah.
I feel like it would go in at least all right to tentative.
All right.
I'm weirded out by Drowsy and Hypno because of all the NTR.
Also, if you eat... Oh, wait, no, that's right. Hypno passed the vibe check.
What vibe check?
In one of the biggest twists of all of the Pokemon leaks, Hypno was acquitted.
Why?
We can't make the pervert joke anymore.
Hypno didn't have any weird like stories about it, but we also have to remember at the end of the day, those leaks
also had like a wholesome story about it. Yeah,
the leaks were like those were like Google Translate like translations.
Well,
they lost the nuance and shit.
Well, no. The thing about those is those were written, but they weren't put into anything. They're non-canon because they weren't implemented in any way.
Yeah. Okay.
It was
Krabby and King.
No, it was just hilarious that like the joke of the communities for so long was, oh, Hypno's a registered Hypno and Drowsy are registered sex, like Hypno especially is a registered sex offender, and then like all the leaks came out, and the only story about Hypno is about it saving people. So there was all these memes of just Hypno being like, I acquitted, I am free man.
Krabby and Kingler, they're crabs.
Papers are wonderful, gentle creatures that are soft, sweet, and full of meat.
Oh my god.
Delicacy.
Okay, yeah, these would go on delicacy.
Yeah.
These are delicious. Yeah.
Ash also has like a panic like dream about Professor Oak eating his Krabby that he just caught.
Yeah, you have to understand, early generations of Pokemon were, like, we're still figuring out our tone, the sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a weird episode, because in the same vein, like, Misty told him, like, you can only hold up to 6 Pokemon, and guess what, fuckface? Yeah, 6 Pokemon, so you have to put one of your Pokemon into a box. And Ash was like, but I don't want to put one of my Pokemon into the box, I want to have them all! And it's like, Ash, shut the fuck up.
Okay, so here's the thing. Voltorb and Electrode would be inedible. Hisuian Voltorb and Electrode would be in, like, efforted to tentative because they are based on apricorns. There's something edible there somehow.
And the apricorns are based off of acorns, right?
Yeah.
They're like
So-
acorn.
And you can eat
Yeah.
acorns. You just have
Yeah.
to. Thing with acorns is
And
you
they do-
can't eat acorns. You have to boil them multiple times.
So I would
And
say
they do have seeds in them.
so I would say for
Right.
Hisuian Electro, efforted. What's execute
Okay.
considered?
They're
So
coconuts.
execute.
They're
These
coconuts.
are seeds. They're not
Ah.
eggs.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
so
that
these
makes
would
sense.
go in like delicious.
Delicious. Like all of them, or just execute for right now?
Yeah, all of them.
Okay. Oh yeah, these.
Or unless you want to put both executors into all right, because you would just be eating the heads and not necessarily the rest of the tree.
I mean, other parts of the palm tree are edible. There's stuff called palm hearts, where if you go to the inner bark, you can eat that.
Yeah, I'm fine with all of them being in
Okay.
delicious because like regular executor gives like pineapple like vibes to me, and then a lowland executor who's a dragon type apparently is like coconuts.
It's a pun. People complain about, oh, why did they make this dragon type? Why did they make this dragon type? They're dragon type for puns. You stick in the muds.
That's fair. That's fair. I like Cubone and Marowak.
I feel like these would be all right. They are just sort of mammalian,
Yeah,
like generic mammal.
That's
they're sort of like mammalian, maybe reptilian.
what about Hisuian? Nope.
I feel Alolan. I
Alolan.
feel like it would go in all right because, like, it is not a literal ghost. It just has ghost tentative,
Tentative. Okay.
because it does have ghost attributes. I feel like its typing would make it taste worse.
Yeah.
We're back to people again.
Okay.
I feel like these would go in tentative to efforted, because at least with Hitmonlee, its legs are like really extendy. They're like bendy straws made of meat and cartilage. I don't feel like they would be
Yeah.
good to eat.
Yeah, I would say Hitmonlee is efforted.
I was going to make a reference to there is an organ that does that, but
Hitmonchan, though. What are we thinking of Hitmonchan?
Maybe tentative, because there's more there.
Yeah.
nah.
Ooh.
Lickitung is probably delicious because that's a lot. There's a lot of tongue meat in there
Wait, can't it paralyze you with its tongue?
Well, that's just the ghost move
with
lick.
its spit.
Yeah.
Alright.
With its spit, but
Yeah, you just boil the shit out of that tongue and you don't have to worry about the paralyzing spit.
oh, you got tongue for days. Okay, so coughing and wheezing are like fungus that feed on poisonous gas. It's the hospital.
Yeah, hospital. But what about clean house gases? Wheezing.
That would still be hospital.
Okay.
It's still poison type.
Oh yeah, it's poison fairy. I forgot.
Okay, so
Okay,
these
if
are
you
like
really wanted to, Alolan could go in an edible.
That's Galarian.
Galarian could go in an edible. But yeah.
No, I'll leave it. I'll leave it in hospital. Okay.
You can't just go up and huff a smokestack no matter how clean they make it.
What are you talking about?
And at the end of the day, it's still like a fungus that feeds on poisonous gas.
You don't want to
No
take
matter how much it cleans.
You don't want to take the fattest bong rip ever.
You take a whiff off of that and you don't wake up.
Okay.
Okay, so these are like very Heidi rhinoceros.
I want to say that they would have to be efforted because, like, you would have to get past the high. Chansey's another Pokemon that. Okay, so people eat the egg that Chansey eats.
I feel like it would go in delicacy.
That's fair. And I feel like if you crack Chansey open, it's just more egg inside.
I mean, you have to understand it is just a very fat bird.
Okay, so Chris, what did you want to do with Tangela?
So there is, I don't know if you can find it. There's a type of seaweed
Uh-huh.
that people cook and eat, make noodles out of, and then they slurp it up like they're
Yeah,
eating ramen,
you're
like little
basically
seaweed noodles.
these are just vines. You can make noodles out of them. You can just cook this. It's probably
Yeah,
edible to delicious, or right to
so
delicious.
I'd say delicious tier.
Delicious.
It's the only grass type that's not poisonous in this list. Like, come on, it's gotta have some.
I don't know why
Uh,
Kangas is before.
All right, so kangaroo. I feel like
Kangaroo is
this would be all right.
delicious.
Yep, yeah, yeah. I've watched Snowpiercer. I know babies are the most delicious.
Jesus, Beth.
Well, y'all watch Snowpiercer, right?
Yeah, we've watched Snowpiercer. We watched it with one of my old with my old roommate.
Fucking movie.
It was fucked up.
Okay, so next up is horsey. I want you to look up a seahorse skeleton right now.
Okay.
I know seahorses are like very bony. I don't feel like this would be worth it.
Skeleton. Yeah, no, that.
That's basically it.
Why does it look like a Halloween decoration?
I mean, it's a lot of Halloween decorations are like, oh, here's a spider skeleton.
So these are edible, but they would be efforted for both of them.
True. Yeah.
Yeah.
Goldine and sea. Are these goldfish?
They're
Yeah,
koi.
you can
Oh,
eat.
koi.
They're carp. You can eat carp. They're not the best tasting fish. I put them
Well, I mean,
in probably above efforted.
yeah, they are like koi and goldfish.
So they're probably better than tentative.
These would be an all right to delicious. Like they're just fish.
Yeah, they're all right. So put tangle in delicious.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So starfish, are these the edible kind of starfish though?
Let's just assume they're because they're not poisonous. So starfish, I've had starfish. I did not enjoy starfish. Starfish.
Yeah.
So if you guys don't know, starfish are echinoderms, and the vast majority of echinoderms, with the exception of some cucumbers, have very spiny. They're not quite exoskeletons, but they're basically exoskeletons on
Right.
the outside of the animal. These are very tough and full of silica needles,
Tasty.
and
Yeah, but that's
they're
because
chewing on fiberglass, pretty much.
yeah, but that's because actual starfish have like are covered in legs on the underside or whatever. These wouldn't have those. However, they'd probably still go in efforted at least.
Well, no, I was gonna say that's it's also a case with like urchins and some cucumbers because basically like it deters creatures from eating them because they basically have needles in their skin. So how you eat a starfish is basically you cook them, you typically like stew them typically or something, and then
If I can jump in real quick, Nick. If you could just put the thing down, because if you accidentally drop that
Oh, true.
on tier maker, you're gonna lose it.
True. Okay.
So if you could just put it down and
Yeah.
not keep holding on to it now,
Yeah.
keep going.
Okay. Yeah. Keep going.
okay, there's ways to cook it where you can either grill it or boil it. But basically, you do that, and then you open them up, and then you scrape out their insides and eat that. Um, have you guys ever had urchin?
I
No.
no. I really want to
Alright.
though. Uni looks really
So I
good.
guess the way I can describe it is a starfish tastes the way a beach smells.
Oh,
That sounds gross.
It is.
Wait.
So
It smells the
they
way.
are edible. I did not like them.
It tastes the way the beach smells. Is that like heroin addicts and all?
What beach are you going to?
The ones with hypodermic needles.
Why are you going to the ones that have energy?
Because I'm a drug addict. I'm kidding.
Because he can't afford to go to the good beach, Stag. We're
Yeah.
no bourgeoisie like you.
Yeah.
You live in Kansas. What beach are you going?
Don't worry about it. I'm going to the beach inside my
You just put
mind.
Starmy.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, at the end of the day,
Is it
would
Beach Inside My Mind? Isn't that the song from Guilty Gear, Bridget?
I don't know. Okay, so Mr. Mime isn't weird per se because we've all seen the Tumblr post, right?
Yeah. I feel like it would go into all tentative.
How would we cook and eat Ash's dad?
I mean, it's the same way you'd cook a person.
What about Mr. Rhyme?
He's
Same thing.
ice, so I feel like that would change it.
Not entirely. Oh, put
I'll drop it in
it down.
Yeah,
What was it?
I put it
The
10
thing, the thing you have to, the thing you have to understand about a lot of ice types is they're not necessarily made of ice. It just means that they are suitable to cold climates.
Yeah.
Like Glaceon isn't going to be made of ice when you cut it open.
It'll have an
Alright.
ice sack.
Yes, that is a canonical thing.
Alright, well, if that's the case, let's just put Mr. Well, this isn't Mr. Rhyme. This
No.
is just a... Oh. What's up?
You just leave it where it is. It's
Okay.
more or less the same thing.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. This isn't Mr. Rhyme, it's Hisui and Mr. Mime, so yeah, it just stays where it is.
Scyther's edible.
Yeah, I think it would go into all right because, it would be a very edible type of bug and it would have a lot of muscle in it due to nature.
You're eating fucking Pokemon, dude? What the fuck?
Yep. We're talking about Scyther right now.
Scyther?
Yeah.
So Scyther, I've never had a praying mantis, which is what Scyther's based on. I've had grasshoppers, which are somewhat close relatives.
Yeah, it would be like that.
Wrong. I think they'd be all right. If not, yeah, we're probably not going to want to put in delicious. So yeah, all right. But yeah, Aka, this is our tier list so far of what we think of what's edible and what's not.
Yeah, now you get to participate.
If you want to.
Oh dear.
I feel like Jinx would go in tentative because something to understand about Jinx is Jinx was originally meant to be more ghostly in its presentation, how in the Pokemon Stadium games, when it faints, it disappears, and how originally it didn't have a footprint, but until the anime fucked up the consistency.
Yeah.
So I assume this would just be like eating a person.
Jinx is always one of those Pokemon that's kind of confused me of this kind of feels like it should have been a ghost type.
Yeah, so it
Bit
should
of
have
ice
been
psychic ice ghost.
It should have been like a ghost ice or something. And I understand what Beth is saying, but the problem at the end of the day was Jinx kind of got censored. Originally it had a black background for its face, but that looked
That's not what I said.
Oh, sorry. What did you say? What I feel like I missed.
I was saying it was what it is more ghostly than humanoid. I think it would be tentative.
Tentative? Okay. I'm fine with tentative.
Okay. What do you think, Doctor?
I don't want to eat it.
Well, three tentatives out of I don't want to eat it.
Starving children in Poke Africa would kill to have Jinx meat. Breast meat.
Okay. Electabuzz. So now we're going back to the monkey scenario.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I think we've already talked about how you cook a monkey, which is you add you kind of roast it and then you shred it and then you add a bunch of spices to it. The electric, I don't know how much. Maybe it's just an organ you remove that removes the electricity part of it, like with electric eels.
Pikachu has electrosacs that are in its cheeks. There are organs mentioned called things like electrosac, flame sac, cryosac. That can then be expanded into venom sacs, and there's a fad term called an omnisac that allows them to generate multi
Ooh.
element.
Maybe if
Yeah,
you
so
clay roasted it.
yeah, so Electabuzz is like an Oni ape. So I think it would be all right.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
What do you think? What do you think, Aka?
I have never once in my life thought about eating Electabuzz. I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine.
Okay, so
Magmar.
Magmar is a humanoid bird. I think this would go delicious.
I agree. It's also a
It's
fire
like
type, so it's probably naturally spicy.
It's like fire plus duck plus lizard, kinda. Yeah,
there is
I'd be
like
delicious.
there is like some mythological bird man creature that it's based on.
Ah, yes.
I was just drawing from like its legs and its like tail. It's kind of lizard as well. So yeah.
Crunchy.
Pincer.
I think
So
this would go in. I think this would go in delicious at least.
I mean, I could see that, but I'm also thinking of like its arms are very spindly. Your legs, you could probably get some meat out of. Those horns are probably not going to have much meat in them.
Yeah, they're gonna be.
Okay, maybe just all right.
Yeah.
Crunchy bug.
Because when I see a lot of these bulky insects with a lot of chitinous outer body, I'm thinking like, what if a grasshopper was a crab? In terms of texture.
What if we just ate
Tauros? Tauros it's a buffalo / cow.
So
It's easy, delicious.
So yeah, delicious for all of them.
For all of them, of course.
Yeah.
Do you agree, Aka?
Yeah, no, that seems like a very normal animal to eat. I don't.
Tauros Borgar. Oh, what the fuck?
See, that's what happens when. Okay, stop. Okay, slowly scroll up. I've dealt with this before. Slowly scroll up. It's at the bottom of tentative.
Yeah. So I don't know what
happened. You have to understand. I've used this tier list before. I have put every single Pokemon on the tier list. I know how. I know the ins and outs of this.
Okay. Okay, Magic. This is a Pokemon that I've seen be eaten live on Pokemon, or it was a Taiyaki.
I feel like it would go in all right because it is one of those Pokemon that's mentioned to be like.
It's mentioned to be basically a trash fish.
Yeah.
You could definitely. I'd cook this like I would cook catfish, which is you would fillet it and then fry it.
Okay, you had an opinion?
I feel like it would be better than alright. Just.
No, this is a thing that is mentioned in Pokemon of it being hard to eat.
I thought it was like supposed to be like actually pretty good. Like I thought there was an episode where they were literally like salivating over the idea over it.
There's an episode where they do that, but I'm gonna look it up.
My pitch for Gyarados is delicacy. It's a lot of meat. It wouldn't be that hard to cook. It's based off of an eel. I love eel. Like,
based off of sea serpent, it's more snake than eel.
Well, I also like snake. So, also there is several creatures that are fish that are very eel-like that are called sea serpents in our world.
Gyarados also gives like Monster Hunter like vibe.
Well, it is closer to a reptile or dragon because it is supposed to be like a dragon sea serpent. So that is what we need to be looking towards here.
I mean, but it does also have fins and gills.
Yeah.
So it's a
dragon.
fish.
That's a thing. Yeah.
I mean, at the end
like
of
the whole thing is it is supposed to be the koi or carp or whatever that jumped over the waterfall and became a dragon. So it's like aqua reptilian fish.
I say delicacy.
I say delicacy too because like this would be hard to get. I feel
giant maki roll.
Giant maki roll.
It's the perfect shape for it too. What do you think, Aka?
I could definitely see it.
I mean, you know what else is perfect? Like I was gonna make a penis joke about Maki rolls. Lapras. I mean, I think she wants to be 8 with that sultry like
delicious. At least.
Why? Why would you say that?
Oh,
Because
sorry.
there's a lot of meat.
So here's the thing.
Lapras is a very fuckable Pokemon. Okay?
Yeah,
Don't know this.
like,
There are entire
Those
art
farm
galleries
leagues.
of just Lapras.
like,
Wow, apparently Magikarp is incredibly fertile. Speaking of,
So what I was going to say is my thing with Lapras on edibility, and I may get shit for this. It's an ice type
mhm.
that is very clearly not made of ice, but it supposed to be lives in colder climates a lot of the time.
it'd be like, I think it would be like whale meat.
Well, what I was going to say is a lot of like there's the leatherback sea turtle as well as like a couple fish like the Greenland shark and a couple other large animals that how they are able to kind of like swim in cold water whilst being cold blooded is that in their blood they basically have antifreeze,
Mhm.
and because of that they're kind of mildly toxic to us. And there are ways to eat them. I don't know much about leatherback sea turtle because it's a danger and I couldn't find anything. When it comes to like the Greenland shark, how they eat them is they boil them, then dry them, and then smoke them, and it's a whole like month-long process. But you can eat Greenland shark that way. So that's my only thing with putting Lapras not that high is it might not be that good.
It'd be all right.
Yeah, maybe all right.
But Lapras
You want to
pussy.
fuck the
Yeah.
course.
Oh my good. Like,
Without question.
I think that makes it less edible for me if you want to fuck it. To be quite honest.
I'm sorry.
I got Lapras is my favorite Pokemon, and I'm not the one horny for it right now.
I'm sorry. Is there not a convicted felon in your pussy right now? Like what's going on here? Like,
What are you?
What?
What?
I might be having a stronk right now. Somebody call the Lapras balance.
Fucking talking about?
Well, I was talking about a convicted like drug dealer climbing into an inflatable Lugia to hide from the cops, but then I realized that's a Lugia and not a Lapras. Eevee, how are we feeling about eating Eevee?
Oh,
Ditto.
I forgot Ditto.
Okay, so there's two ways to think of Ditto. Either Ditto is borderline inedible because it can become everything, or it is delicacy because it can become everything.
Okay. So here's the thing. Here's the thing about Ditto. Most people think of Ditto as like a slime, which Ditto don't really have a lot of transparency in any game they're in. Ditto is like cells. It's all just cells. So it's a big cluster of cells. I feel like it would taste like lab-grown meat if you cooked it.
I was
So
thinking
it would be like in
Jello.
Well, that's the thing. It's not a slime.
Yeah.
It's literally just cells. It's non-differentiated cells.
Here's the thing.
It's like cooking stem cells.
Here's the thing, Beth. Jello is made of meat. Jello is made of bone marrow.
So hospital?
They're like undifferentiated stem cells. It would be like, I think it would be tentative at least.
Tentative, of course.
It would definitely like still have like a bad texture.
Yeah.
Can it be just
like you
delicious?
couldn't eat it, but you could eat it. But why would you want to?
Couldn't it just
Okay,
be
Eevee, fox, delicious.
delicious? Okay.
It's a fox.
Oh, it is a fox. Yeah, you're right. Are we gonna rank each of its evolutions individually?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so Vaporeon. Do you think Vaporeon would be a delicacy snack?
I think Vaporeon would probably taste like otter.
So,
I'd say delicious.
Well, okay, so here's the thing. Vaporeon is like a mammal fish.
here's also
Otter.
Here's also the weird thing about Vaporeon. You would have to cook it a very specific way. You can't like put it in water because don't Vaporeons melt in water? Isn't that what the Pokedex entry says?
You make a chunky soup instantly.
It is depicted swimming so often, I can't imagine it melting in water. I'm so sorry.
Well,
That's mostly a camouflage thing.
yeah. Okay, so delicious for Vaporeon, or
Sure.
Yes, but cause I have to imagine it would have a fishiness to it due to its additional fish biology. Somewhat. Do you think it would be delicious or a delicacy?
I think delicious. I don't think it's
All right.
delicacy tier.
let me just pull up the
Okay. Okay.
Vaporeon.
So
Don't. No, bad, bad, bad.
What?
you know, in terms of human Pokemon compatibility,
Voltorb is the most correct match because it will just kill you instantly.
I mean, that would absolutely smash. I would, if we did Pokemon Smash or Pass, I would horrify all of you.
I mean, I think I would horrify you, Beth.
Okay,
Okay. Okay.
So-
So I feel like Jolteon would just be all right.
okay. So with Jolteon is, I think I've previously mentioned Prickly Pear Cactus. I think that's a similar situation with Jolteon. I think the meat itself is quite good. You just have to remove every fucking quill. You have, like with
Yeah,
Porcupine,
it's just very
you have
sharp
to.
hair.
It takes so long to clean it. It's gonna knock it down a peg.
Also, because
So-
it's spindlier than the other ones, it's
So-
all
So I
right.
think all right. Yeah.
Okay. Plus, it might have like a little bit of tang to it, like Jamaican jerk chicken or something.
So Flareon, in my mind, is so spicy it's almost hard. It's hard to eat.
Yeah,
I'd still put it in all right.
putting seared Flareon onto some bulldog noodles.
Oh hell yeah!
Okay,
I would put that. I would still put that in all right because people
Okay.
can handle spice.
So here's the thing: of like, people give me shit for doing this occasionally.
uh-huh.
I make milk steak on occasion, and what I'll do is I'll take some venison or something that, like, my sister-in-law loves spice. So when she hunts deer, which she hasn't because she has a baby right now, but she got some deer meat and she spiced the ever loving shit out of that
Mhm.
when she smoked it and then froze it. And so when I try to eat it regularly, I can barely stand it. So what I'll do is I'll make like a milk gravy and then cook the steak in that to remove some of the heat.
Cool. Has anybody noticed that we've never seen Chris and Charlie Kelly in the same room together? Like at
Who the
all.
fuck is that?
The guy from Always Sunny. The milk steak guy.
Okay.
Which I also like.
Okay.
I guess you could do like a chicken fried steak with Flareon would be pretty good.
I think that would be fun.
Anyway, what do you think, Akka?
Yeah, that.
I mean, yeah, it is just
Okay.
hot fox.
Here we
Oregon
go.
is an
Oregon. How?
It's data. It's data.
It looks like rock
Listen.
candy.
Wait, anyone who would know this information,
data.
Akka, how do we eat Porygon?
You eat like the M.2 drive it's on. So you just go eat it like a chip, potato chip. You know,
Okay, so
it's crunchy.
Inedible.
Inedible. Okay. I wanted to eat it like rock candy, you bastards. Kidding. Why am I still tasting soup lumplings from Blast Blight? Oh my god, what was that?
What did you just say? Were those words?
I was
James
supposed to...
name is having a strong call
I,
of ambulance.
I was supposed to say, why am I tasting soup dumplings from last night? It's 7 p.m. today. But that's not... Oh, Omnistar and Felix.
Okay, these would
Right,
probably
focus.
taste like Nautilus, which I have not had, but by all intents and purposes, they kind of taste like a mixture between a clam and a squid.
Oh, ew.
I feel like these would be all right to delicious.
Yeah, I could see.
Yeah, I think these would be delicious.
Delicious. Delicious in Pokemon.
I mean, this is delicious in Dungeon Pokemon version.
Yeah.
So the question is, Dungeon Master, is it edible? None of this is edible!
Okay, so what do you think of
Over
horseshoe
here.
crabs?
I'm over here not fighting the dwarf allegations, arguing for eating rocks.
Oh yeah, Chris, you know, as Beth asked, how edible are horseshoe crabs?
I have never actually had a horseshoe crab. It used to be a very big industry, and it's still a very big industry in like Southeast Asia. But the Atlantic horseshoe crab fishery has gone down since people realize we can use them for medicine instead, and they're actually way more effective at being medicine than just being food. So,
Yeah,
uh,
I'm looking it up, and they say they're edible, but they're mostly eaten for their eggs.
so I would say these guys are probably below delicious, but better than tentative.
So,
People are saying online they're closer to scorpions than crabs in
Yeah,
terms of edibility.
they're more closely related to scorpions than they are to crabs too.
okay, what about kaboot
I,
tops? Because these are
I feel like Kabutops would go below Kabuto.
okay.
Kabuto.
So all right to tentative.
Well, I mean, I think it
Yeah.
might be the same as
I think, yeah.
kabuto because its whole head is the size of a kabuto, so you're still getting the same amount of meat.
But that's mostly skull.
Yeah.
Like, that's not just meat. That's skull and armor, and it's very spindly. I guess it would be more... Yeah, put it alright. It would have a lot of, like, crab meat quality to it
Oh
under all
yeah.
that
No,
armor.
you're
Well, no,
right.
yeah, well, I'm thinking of the look at the equivalent of your kabutops is your equivalent of like a blue crab,
Yeah.
like your kabuto, and then your kabutops is like a king crab,
You crack its skull open, pour some
where
sake in.
it's going to be the same amount of meat. But yeah,
You slurp up the slurry.
You
Been
really just
drinking with
have
the
to
Yakuza
describe
again.
things in the worst way possible.
Alright, Steg.
What
Alright,
slurry?
Steg, you know this. What does a Pteranodon taste like?
so pteranodon. Oh wait, you can do this as well, Nick. Look up Aerodactyl animal.
Aerodactyl.
It's Aerodactyl.
It'll fix itself in a second.
Oh, I'm talking to you people.
Yeah, Aerodactyl.
Aerodactylus.
Yeah, it's a pterosaur named after the real, after the Pokemon. Anyway, so it's tiny though. It's like fucking tiny, little guy. Anyway,
All left, bitch.
so to come up with a flavor profile of what a pterosaur would probably taste like, especially one like Aerodactyl, which is vaguely Dimorphodon Rhamphorhynchus inspired, a little bit of Pteranodon, not much. Um, So, where do pterosaurs fall on the animal family tree? They are more closely related to dinosaurs, but not closely related to birds because you have the entire dinosaur lineage to go through before you get to birds. They're fairly closely related to crocodilians. What do they eat? A lot of fish. They also have a fairly fast lifestyle of having to fly, which means you're going to need uh, muscle fibers. You're gonna need like basically dark meat. So basically, imagine if an alligator was dark meat and had a seafood flavor to it because of its diet.
Mhm.
So I think an Aerodactyl would probably be maybe not delicious, but up there.
Alright.
Yeah.
Smash. Oh, sorry, that's not the list we're doing.
Uh, actually, no. Put it in delicious.
Put it okay. I'm a slave to everyone.
Okay, so what do y'all think Totoro would taste like?
Oh, Totoro.
Okay, so
Like,
This
it's a mammal and it has a lot of fat.
I like the
it
thing.
has a lot of fat. So instinctually, I want to go low and slow. But it's also kind of a bear, so you're going to need a decently high temperature to avoid trigonosis. So you're going to have to cook this in a fairly complex method.
I feel like it would go in like alright.
I think you could make a soup dumpling out of him.
What do you think?
What is it with you and soup dumplings?
I
don't know how to cook that.
Is it all right, or is it like a
It's
delicacy?
a creature.
Yeah, all of these creatures are sapient. Moving on. we've come to terms with our fate here.
Anyway, my thing with soup dumplings, Beth, is that they're delicious and I like them.
If you like soup dumplings so much, why don't you marry them?
I wish I could, but not
Okay.
since the incident.
Articuno is based off of a pheasant. Yes,
Yeah, look at you. Like,
delicacy.
I feel like this would be all right at least because look at those drumsticks.
I say delicacy.
Because it's based
Yeah,
off
I'd
a
be good
pheasant.
with that.
Okay.
Yeah,
No, I would agree.
Yeah, just both of them for
like
that.
a partridge or pheasant or ptarmigan.
Oh no, the one time I tried to eat the partridge family, I got in trouble.
Partridge family.
Yeah.
Okay. Zapdos, I feel like would be like tentative to difficult because it's like very pointy and thin.
Yeah.
Yes, I would agree that regular Zapdos is tentative. I think Galarian Zapdos goes up one.
It would be delicious
Yeah,
or all right or something.
Okay.
yeah.
Uh.
So Galarian Zapdos is delicious.
Okay. I'll put regular
Yeah.
Zapdos into wherever I put it, tentative, and then Galarian Zapdos and Delicious.
Yes.
Moltres.
Fried chicken.
I feel like it would be all right to tentative. I doubt. It's not very meaty. Like, you turn the flames off and this thing looks like a chicken.
Yeah. Have you seen the wet Moltres meme?
Oh Jesus! So all right to tentative.
Yeah,
I'll put it in all
tentative.
right. Tentative. Yeah.
What do you think, Steve?
I think all right. It's certainly more edible than just base Zapdos.
And then
Yeah, that's fine.
Galarian Moltres and all right as well.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Now we have Dratini.
You just slurp it
Dratini-
like a noodle.
I feel like Dratini and Dragonair would be delicacies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They give me amphibian vibes.
I mean, yeah, they are just wiggly reptilians. They're like dragon snakes. There would be so much meat on there, and it would be tender. And this seems like some shit that some billionaire would.
What do you think, Aga?
Dragonite, I don't know.
I think it would be delicious. I think it would be delicious to all right, maybe not delicacy like the other two are, because the other two are just easier to eat.
Yeah. I would,
Delicious.
I would say delicious at least for Dragonair.
Dragonite.
Dragonite. Sorry.
Mewtwo.
Oh God.
Okay,
Mewtwo.
Mewtwo, I feel like would taste like lab-grown meat. For what meat you could get out of this thing, because it is just so spindly and weird.
I mean, well, he's got thighs for days.
I feel like it would go in all right.
I
I
feel like it would be very like tough meat, if that makes sense.
Well, here's the thing.
I
I guess this also depends on where we're going to put Mew, because we're saying it's lab grown meat, but I think what the way to approach this is cloned sheep, like cloned to non-cloned lamb, because they're both living creatures, so the meat themselves is not lab grown. Because
okay,
it's still
but how
connected
was
to a
Dolly the
musculoskeletal
sheep?
system.
How was Dolly the sheep made?
Cloning.
Yeah, but like what kind of cloning?
Yes,
like,
but cloned how? Was it in like in utero thing?
So, Dolly the sheep, if I remember correctly, they took adult cells and then they implanted it into
Okay, so it was born normally.
into an egg. Yeah.
It was born. Those cloned animals are born normally. Mewtwo was not born normally. He was grown in a test tube.
Mewtwo was 3D printed.
Hmm?
I think it would just go in all right or tentative.
No, that's fair. I will say all right because there's something that you can eat off of Mewtwo.
Just
Akko, what's your opinion?
chicken balls.
I think it would be gross. I think it would be so gross to eat. I simply would not.
the rest of us have made peace with the fact that most of these you wouldn't necessarily want to eat them, but can you eat them if possible?
Okay, yeah, but like, even if I did eat it, I think it would not taste good.
Like, look at me.
I think it would taste bad.
I ate my dad, and you don't see me complaining. I'm kidding.
You what?
Don't worry about
You,
it.
I feel like would go like below U2 and like tentative or something because like there's not much there.
Well, okay. Mew is also the DNA what's the word? It's the progenitor to all Pokemon. So I feel like Mewtwo would taste like whatever you want it to taste like.
It tastes like everything.
Yeah.
So that's either going to be an edible or delicacy.
Ooh. I'm just putting that.
You know what? Fuck it. Put it in delicacy because that'll be funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is also the hardest Pokemon to eat, just in terms of finding it.
Put Mew on an everything bagel.
Right, that's all the first generation.
Yep. And next time, well, none of these bitches are safe right here. Yeah. But yeah, this is what we have. Delicacy tier. You can see it. I'm not gonna read them off.
So why didn't we do the megas?
No.
No,
We're not going to do the megas.
Yeah.
The megas.
You can't
the
eat
megas
them.
are state. The megas are state forms. They wouldn't retain that state if you killed them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like if I if you killed a common rider, like they're not gonna stay in their suit. They're gonna die.
I mean, maybe that sort of depends.
But yeah, I'm
Are we
just
going by
disagreement,
logic or Amazon's logic?
No, not really.
What would everybody's like number one Pokemon that they would want to eat off this list before we
Slowpoke.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Gyarados.
I would eat Nidoking because I think that would be fun.
Okay, but which Pokemon would you actually eat?
Oh, fuck off. Shit. Well, I think a Tauros burger would be really good. So I would eat a Tauros.
Wow, you think a burger would be good, you basic bitch.
Y'all, fuck y'all. This is a Pokemon. Which Pokemon are edible tier list? The fact that I'm choosing a Pokemon to eat is fucking crazy.
And you picked like the safest one.
Yeah.
Fine. I would eat Clefairy I would eat Clefairy because, as previously stated, I feel like it would be very soup dumpling esque.
Who would you eat, Aka? You're gonna go for that Slowpoke tail, aren't you?
So okay. I see. Now that I'm looking at it, I see Galarian Slowpoke next to it. Isn't Galarian Slowpoke a poison type?
No.
Slowpoke. Yes.
Okay, so the Galarian Slowpoke got the way it is because it ate a lot of spices, like naturally occurring spices. All that yellow stuff on it is spice. It is like covered in curry spice.
Oh, then it's fucking amazing! Holy shit! Yeah, I'd eat that. What the fuck?
Curried Slowpoke tail. That sounds amazing. Can I change my answer to Galarian Slowpoke?
This is also Farfetch'd as well.
Farfetch'd is pretty good.
Am I gonna get roasted for saying Farfetch'd as well?
No.
I mean, it's at least a more interesting choice.
I'm sorry that the buffalo that I want made into ground buffalo
meat. Bull.
Oh, bull. Sorry.
You didn't. Well, the thing is, you didn't choose a steak. You didn't choose a tenderloin. You're like, I'm gonna grind it up into a burger and eat the burger because I'm an American.
Burger.
I like burgers. I like Red Reuben. It would be called Red Moltres in the Pokemon.
I'm an American.
But
I got heart. My heart's pumping blood, hot through. My heart's pumping hot blood through it fast.
Actually, it's steak.
I need
sorry.
pound stat.
But yeah, I've been bamfing for time this whole time. This is our list. If you guys don't like it, I guess that's cool.
Bye.
Yeah, bye everyone. Chris, do you have?
No,
any...
that's not what I said.
Oh, what did you say? Oh, did you say
Bye.
bye? Chris, do you have any sage-like advice?
You can eat more rocks than you think you
Oh
can.
my god, shut the fuck up about rocks.
True salt is a rock.
That's right. That's right.
Okay, Germa.
Aka, what about any non-sage-like advice from you?
Non-sage-like advice?
Yeah.
You
Kill
know,
your parents.
yeah, I think it's a really good idea to invest in random shit coins on the internet.
Oh, I love
I think
random...
you should do that.
Oh, I love random shitcoin. I've I've invested like 5,000 and I'm bankrupt. Anyway, goodbye everyone. Say goodbye everyone.
Bye.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye-bye.